So it's been a while since I've gone for a solo pet run. I think the last one that I was seriously working on was Panther, and I think I made a video about that. If I did, I'll link it in the description. If not, I'll link some of the other ones that I've done in the not too distant past, but it has been a while. And generally speaking, most of the solo pet runs you see are the same pets. You know, usually it's hippo, usually it's rhino. The ones that can quite easily sweep a whole team by themselves, and it doesn't really take a huge leap of logic to work out how that's going to happen. Now, I had my eye on one of the new pets. One of the ones, to be honest, I don't like it at all. And although it's been nerfed, I feel like it's still pretty busted, especially in customs. Maybe not so much in Unicorn Pack itself, because there are fewer ways to support it. But it is the Chimera. So we find one here, and I'm setting up with the gold team, because my strategy for this is to scale up the entire squad, including the Chimera, save as much gold as possible for the last turn, and then spend the last turn rolling for mana potions. So I set myself the challenge of doing this without using any of the other mana generators. And mana potion itself is probably one of the worst, if not the worst, food items in the game. Maybe there are some others that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head that are worse, but it's really, really bad. I think, it's a tier 5 food. So that means you have to wait until turn 9 to actually get access to it, by which time any of your early game mana pets are already going to be generating the same amount of mana as the potion, if not more, and also not suffering the decay effect. So if you don't know, once you get mana in the shop, it is not permanent. It decays by half every turn. And so that mana potion will actually expire. And your 6 mana will go down to 3. And then I think it goes down to 2 because I believe they changed it to round up when it decays. But after that point, it will just disappear. You'll end up with no mana at all. And to be honest, there's not a whole lot you can do with 1 or 2 mana anyway. So really that means that on the final turn, I'm going to need to have a lot of gold saved up, because I'm going to need to roll to find as many potions as possible and just hope that we get enough that it won't go to the following turn and the mana will decay by half. So to that end, we're getting all the gold pets going here. We've got the Silver Fox with the melon, and we're about to get the flashlight buffs. And hopefully that should mean it's going to trigger a few times. Ultimately, we are looking for Bird of Paradise, of course. And the main reason for that is that it's just the easiest way to scale for free, essentially. We're going to be spending so much time rolling that, we have to get value somehow from all that gold wasted on rolling for mana potions. And here I decide to just sell the Weasel, bring in the Puma to get double the buffs from the flashlight, and then I get a really amazing roll here where I get the triple manta ray. But of course, the single links there snipes the melon on the only melon unit we had. I guess that is a bit more likely with a 4 squad, but still pretty unfortunate there. Not so much about losing, I don't really mind that. It's more about maximizing the gold from the Silver Fox. So we now have the level 3 on both, so we're going to be getting a lot of gold this turn, even if the Silver Fox only gets to attack once. But most of the time it should be attacking at least twice. But after that last turn, I do end up taking the sock just to try and increase our chances of winning and having a few lives intact for the end, where I'm actually just going to send out the Chimera by itself and hope that it gets the job done. And there were some games where I had, I think, 5 attempts at the end and lost them all, or drew as well, I think. Some of those clips I will show at the end here. But you can see I'm now starting to buy mana. It's not great to do that. It feels like a bit of a waste. But I think it's better, to have, even if the mana is going to decay every turn, it's better to not be starting from 0 mana on the final turn. And so 21 here actually is pretty nice, and I think that was probably above average in terms of what I ended up with at the very end. We just take the turtle for the turn. Probably a bit late to be looking for pills now, but you know, it could help us win this next battle, and I think we're going to be fine. Yep, pretty comfortable. But now the 21 mana goes down to 10, which is pretty rough. I guess that doesn't round up then, does it? I'm sure that they said it was changed to round up. But I'm going to take the sauropod as well. I did have the pack set up for 2 different options. You know, I could either go sauropod with squirrel or bird of paradise, but I feel like bird of paradise is just so much more effective because you're able to scale all the other units which are getting you into position to potentially send out the Chimera by itself and have multiple attempts. So there I could have saved the tapir to try and pill it, but we only had the bird of paradise that needed a level up, so I decided against it. And maybe here, I'm not really gold counting, so maybe I'm wasting the avocados. Maybe I'm already going to max out on gold. But I guess it depends on the opponent. You know, if you face a swordfish, the swordfish could one-shot the silver fox before it gets to do anything. And there, it would have been very close if I didn't have the mana. But yeah, you can see we're maxed out, and so buying and selling the oyster does nothing there. That was a mistake. But I do like taking Peach of Immortality with this team. We do want mana potions, but at the same time, I need to make sure that the Chimera is on 50-50 when we get to the end. And generally the bird of paradise is going to get it there, but I think it's also just nice guaranteeing it as soon as possible. And I think, to be honest, I think all 3 units are probably going to get pretty close to 50-50 at the end. Abomination plus Parrot, I've been seeing that a lot more. And this kind of opponent, maybe I should mention that, the kinds of opponents we're really looking for are the snipe teams like these, you know, the tech teams that have skunk, dolphin, all those kinds of things, but they generally have low stats overall. We could also beat maybe a husky team if they don't have equipment at the front. So if we get the coconut from the mongoose, we could potentially have the 50-50, remove multiple huge units, and then the faints, or the spawned lion, snake, and goat actually beat the rest of the opposing team. And then the other one we're looking for is summons, of course. I think in this particular game I didn't have lemon or garlic in the pack, but that would have been another option. And you can see here I'm just rolling down looking for potions, not finding anything. We don't need to find more mongoose or chocolate because you only need one of them. You know, unlike some of the other toys like the stingray, you can be looking for more than one. But I definitely want to have a toy on board, and I think really in customs that's pretty much mandatory if you're going to be trying to do a solo pet run at this point. So here I make a whole bunch of mistakes. Again, I max out the gold and then I buy sell the oyster even though the gold is maxed, but thankfully I realize afterwards that I don't need to do that. The Chimera is guaranteed to reach 50-50 at this point, and it's just about finding the mana potion with the 3 gold left for the mongoose. I'm not sure if it came down to it at the very end. If I found a potion or a mongoose, which one would I take since I already have the melon? I think maybe it's probably better to take the mongoose, but you know, when you're buying the mana potion, it is adding 6 stats to 3 units. But we end up actually having really bad luck here, and I roll down the whole shop and I only find 1 mana potion, which was way below my average, I think. And we do get the choice with stingray and mongoose, but I think I'm going to go for coconut. So here we go, solo Chimera, and it's another parrot abomination team, but the abomination at the front only has 12 attack, and as a result the 13-13 spawns are actually going to beat the remainder of their squad, with the Chimera ribbon as well. So here are a bunch of the fails. I had a lot of attempts at this, nowhere near as many attempts as the Griffin games at the weekend, but this is a really strange round where they have the level 3 Kappa, and the flea spawns on my side, which weakens the Sleipnir, but it's going to hang on 1 HP and avoid the draw. So I probably would have lost to the next turn anyway, because the mana decays by half, but you know, it still felt like I was robbed. Here's someone actually going for the Moby rock from Rev's recent video. I'll link that in the description if you haven't seen it. But yeah, the stats are just too big on the Yeti there. And then this one actually looks really promising. A jump team with no melon at all. You know, most of the jump teams have brain cramp, which has the melon. But unfortunately, with the buffs from the frog, the summons aren't able to remove some of the jumpers there, and we end up losing with the frogman as the only unit left on their squad. So next one. This one is really strange. You look at it initially and it looks like I'm just going to automatically lose. They've got a 95 attack, 41 health behemoth with lemon, plus they've got the seagull mushroom setup. But we remove the behemoth and then they've got a stake on the back unit and it's a trade. I guess actually the stake didn't make any difference there, but that was a very strange draw. And then this one, this was actually the first game I played, and I burst out laughing when I saw it because I thought I was going to win at the first attempt, and the opposing team on turn 16 had the level 3 Mandrake. And then I switched tack and thought, you know, I'm going to try it with Evil Book instead of the coconut. So we've got the lemon, and here the vulture actually had pepper at the back, which is pretty heartbreaking. And actually here you can see I've got 4 hearts still intact, so I then ended up having a whole bunch more attempts after this, which I think all ended up losing. This team, I faced this person multiple times, and we'll see them again in a second. The lemon there means that we remove the chupacabra, but the parrot hangs on with 2 health. And then again, here's the same person, but it's a different team. Both times they've got hippocampus. But the lemon is so good, and it's actually going to be a tie as a result. But you know, we only had 3 mana there, so a single mana potion I think there would have got me the win. But we'll pick up another run here on turn 7, and this one I'm committing to try and get the bad dog toy, the evil book. So I'm just freezing the bad dogs, even though we're quite early on. And I think yeah, just take the melon on the already 50-50 manta ray. I really don't like the effect. They've changed the effect for when buffs get applied. If you're already maxed out, it just says +0/+0, and it looks really weird. I don't know why they did that. I really wish it was just the way it used to be. But I take the magic beans because I think that ends up giving you more gold than the rice does. Although the skunk 50-50 here actually hits the manta ray. I'm not sure that made any difference, but we were quite lucky there, especially since I just bought the melon. I think I actually just freeze this mana... Okay, no, I'm going to buy it now. You could make the argument that you should just freeze the mana potion, but because I have so much gold, I really just want to keep looking for more. And also we need to get the Chimera to level 3. So we're looking for chocolate, we're looking for mana potion, and I guess another bad dog or a chocolate. Although I'm pretty likely to find a chocolate on the last turn. Or maybe just another bad dog in the shop. So actually there's a chocolate and a Chimera. So we're going to freeze both the potion and the Chimera for next turn. And I'm just rolling down in case I find a bad dog. The Bird of Paradise does absolutely nothing there. Another warg team. This person trying to scam the Moby Dick achievement. But thankfully we have the stats to take the snipes from the warg. And actually a bad dog appears in the shop, which is nice, although actually we didn't need it because we had the chocolate frozen. Kind of makes me regret having the chocolate frozen because what if a mana potion had appeared in the other slot? So we'll just skip the toy, make sure we get the level 2 evil book for more damage. And yeah, if you just leave your pet further back, the great one will spawn immediately. But this time we're getting a much better... mana potion luck in the food shop. So I actually get up to 30 and I find another potion. So I think 30 was the highest I managed out of all the attempts. And then it's a summon team. We do kill the Nessie, but they did have a mushroom on it. But Nessie, of course, is amongst those pets that has been toned down quite a bit. And the 30 mana is going to stand us in good stead, even though they get the maximum number of spawns from the slime. and we get a second solo Chimera win. So I think this one, if you're interested in playing a solo pet run, this is probably one of the easier ones. It all just comes down to the mana potion luck at the end.